Welcome back to the NIO Summit live stream brought to you by Network for Good. Day one is over for the in-conference sessions for speakers, but we still have a set of interviews to bring you. We are chatting with Cathy, who is an award-winning, NIO Summit award winner. Now, Cathy, can you tell us about your organization, your role, and what your cause is that you're focused on?
Sure. So I'm the Senior Director of Online Communications for the Parkinson's Foundation, and we work to make life better through research, education, and outreach. We have a presence throughout the United States and some internationally, and I'm really pleased to be here to talk about some of the Facebook fundraising work and online advertising and all the work that we do online to reach people with Parkinson's disease.
Well, we're thrilled to have you for sure. I know we've been talking a little bit about Facebook in the sessions. Allison had a whole 20-minute talk on 5 different tips you can use in your Facebook fundraising to see real growth. So part of the award-winning campaign that you had submitted that we thought was super interesting was you were talking about how you had built this Facebook audience, and then you had to figure out, how do I start to cultivate this audience, and then actually capitalize on all that cultivation work to turn those people into donors. So kind of walk us through that process a little bit. You know, where did you start? When did you decide, let's start focusing on Facebook as a potential channel?
Sure. So initially, we really didn't, we weren't sure how much we'd be able to get out of Facebook aside from cultivating people that may or may not enter into a donation stream that would be outside of Facebook. And getting people to do that change over to a different channel can sometimes be challenging.
Sure.
So what we decided was we've spent a lot of time cultivating this amazing audience, building this audience, and then we thought, let's just try it. You know, a couple times a year we would post, oh, it's year end, won't you consider supporting the foundation? And that always had mixed results. Looking at the proportion of donations we would get versus the number of Facebook followers we had was absurdly low. And then the Facebook fundraising came along and we thought, well, this is a new thing that we can try. And we figured that the ideal time to do this would be World Parkinson's Day, April 11th.
Okay.
It's in the middle of Parkinson's Awareness Month. It's long after year end. You know, it was just good timing. And we thought we can both make this a fundraiser and continue to position ourselves as experts and leaders in Parkinson's research. So we created a number of researcher profiles, just very short 2 sentences about someone, what makes them special and what they're working on and how we funded it. That's a lot to pack into 2 sentences.
Sure.
There were a lot of drafts.
Absolutely.
But we did get the right text in there, and we started seeding that to our audience a few days in advance, just through promoted posts and more traditional ads, that kind of thing. So that way when World Parkinson's Day started, we created a fundraiser on behalf of the foundation itself.
Okay.
And we had a pretty modest goal. We thought, let's tell people we want to raise $6,000 in honor of the 60,000 people diagnosed with Parkinson's every year. And we hit it within 3 hours. It's
incredible. It's incredible.
So we had a feeling that might happen. When 5 minutes in, we were $100, you know, $100 ahead of where we thought we would be. So we created a number of other milestones related to Parkinson's statistics, and it was a way to educate the audience while encouraging them to donate and share with their friends.
Sure.
And what we saw from the results is that there were an astounding number of people who fit into 2 categories. Either entirely new donors to the foundation that may or may not have been actual Facebook followers.
Okay.
Or people who had already donated on Facebook quite recently and wanted to donate again.
Interesting. So
we learned we are able to fundraise with our Facebook audience much more frequently than we thought. We used to limit it to about 2 to 3 solicitations a year on Facebook because traditionally they hadn't really responded well to it.
Yeah.
And this showed us that we were wrong. We had outdated practices.
Sure.
So we're planning quarterly fundraisers like that now.
Okay.
And seeing what we can do to continue to drive that donation and engagement with our followers and have them share with their own networks and continue growing our audience at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your specific goals. Are you trying to use Facebook as a means of getting the Facebook user to then go to your website and make a donation? Or are you trying to equip Facebook users to then become fundraisers and fundraise on your behalf via Facebook tools?
So in the ideal world, it would be the first scenario.
Sure, yeah.
We would get all of the data, they'd be on our website, we could get them involved in a number of other ways because we have those engagement pathways on Parkinson.org. Obviously, we do have the challenge of there's not as much data as we would like on Facebook fundraisers, and
Right.
every organization has to have that conversation internally.
Yeah.
Are we willing for that to pay for that trade-off?
Sure.
We have built a Facebook bot to try and get our fundraisers subscribed to our messaging through Messenger.
Oh, okay.
Capture their information through that automated messaging.
Interesting.
And link it into their constituent profiles. We've had some success with that. We're still testing a lot of messaging.
Okay.
How many times can we ask them for their email before they get tired of us? That kind of thing. But it's been a journey, and it's continually going onward and upward.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's very cool and really exciting work that you're doing. So as you've been testing different strategies, probably different messaging, different imagery, all these different things, what's one of the biggest takeaways that you've had? Maybe a big eye-opening moment, like, oh, I didn't know this, or maybe I had an assumption about my donors here, but it was proven wrong. What's a big takeaway that you've had?
I think actually the biggest takeaway that I've had in terms of testing messaging and images and so forth is that almost all of them are performing equally well. They're all doing great, and I think it's because we've put so much time and effort into cultivating that relationship with our audience that they're already singing from our same songbook. We just
Sure.
had to prompt them
Sure.
to join in, have a solo, I guess, to continue the metaphor.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And we've talked a lot today about cultivation strategies. I know Brady and Scott Chisholm today were talking about some different cultivation ideas and when donors return and what do you do and how frequently should you be emailing when a new subscriber comes on the file. So in your opinion, how important is cultivation specifically to a Facebook audience, even outside of email marketing?
Yeah, to a Facebook audience specifically, it's incredibly important. We have a pretty strict ratio of 4 cultivations to 1 solicitation. And when we say solicitation, we don't just mean please donate. We mean join our event. Do something
Okay.
where we're requesting something from the person. We want to build
Sure.
a lot of social capital before we withdraw from that bank.
Sure.
And that's worked pretty well for us over the years. We've shifted a little bit over time, but we found that a 4 to 1, sometimes a 3 to 1 in a busy event season
Sure.
works well for our audience.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Do you have any words of advice for an organization out there who's wanting to start really intentionally focusing on Facebook? What's one thing that they should really focus on when they start?
I think one thing that we've been really lucky with at the Parkinson's Foundation is that there's a huge culture of experimentation. So just don't be afraid to try it. You'll never know if you don't try. And if you do enough internal education of senior leadership and other people on your team who may or may not be involved in this, it can truly turn into an organizational success. There's going to be some things that work spectacularly, and you might have a couple failures, and that's okay. That's how you learn, that's how you continue testing and get yourself out there. And then next thing you know, you're also raising $20,000 in 36 hours.
That's great. Sometimes the best learnings come from those tests that really bomb.
Yeah,
That's how
I
we learn
mean,
the most.
that's how we learn. If we succeed all the time, then, maybe we're not doing as well as we otherwise could be.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again on being an award winner. We're super thrilled you're here. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. And thank you for taking some time to share your campaign with us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be right back with an interview with Adrian Sargent. You can send in some questions even now that you have for him about relationship fundraising and all the things that he discussed. So send those in the live stream chat, and then we'll be back in just a moment with those questions.